The two rogues and warlock of our party all use weapons of some sort, all dexterity-based weapons, rapiers, longbows, daggers. The barbarian is the only character in the party that uses strength-based weapons. We've been playing our campaign for 2 years. We have found at least 7 strength-based magical weapons. Our barbarian has backup magical weapons for his backup magical weapons, plus a number of other magical items, like a cloak that grants cold resistance. We've only ever found 1 dexterity-based weapon. Well, I mean, the cloak could probably be used by any, but... Oh, wait, I forgot. Kratos made big capes the proprietary property of all large men. I forgot. Never mind, carry on. We did find 1 dexterity-based weapon. A dagger that also gives bonus damage to evocation cantrips when used as a spell focus. The rogue wizard carries it and uses it well. We have found no other magical finesse weapons or range weapons at all. We cannot sell or trade the magical strength-based weapons in exchange for magical dexterity weapons because there's only been tiny towns available to trade in. About 60% of the magic items our party have found we don't even use. About half our party has no major magic item which they regularly rely on in combat. I'm playing the rogue cleric, and the only magic items I've been able to use are a ring that uses command once a day, a spell I have access to anyway, and an amulet that casts Hunter's Mark once a day, a spell that doesn't apply to over half of my damage rolls, because it only applies to weapon damage and not spell damage, and it also interferes when concentrating on more useful cleric spells like Bless. In truth, I don't really blame the DM. He's running a module, and I guess Wizards of the Coast only thought fighters, barbarians, and paladins would be playing through Prince of the Apocalypse. Sure, but still, come on, DM. Honestly, I don't love how the module handled this. Maybe I could just...
Whoa! What were you saying about making changes?
Wait, hold on. Before we get to anything, you can talk?
Completely irrelevant!
How's that not relevant?
You wanted to change me. Adjust the holy word of the book. You dare!
Look, I'm not saying you're a bad book, okay? But, there's some small things that I can adjust as a dungeon master, and I feel like, for the sake of my players, I should be able to do that. Especially since all groups are different. Not every book is just capable of running for every single table. I mean, a DM needs to make changes in order
Need to make changes?
Okay, dude, I think you need to calm down.
Calm down? You want me to calm down? I'll show you calm!
Whoa! Okay! Oh my god, okay.
Swear to me. Swear that you will never even consider making changes to a module on your life.
I swear! I won't make changes. Please don't hurt me.
Do you truly swear?
Yes!
Good.
Maybe I should just do a homebrew adventure. I don't know. I just know it's stupid how many strength-based magical items have been lying around for us to discover, compared to the normal percentage of players in the typical D&D party that can make use of them. The GM has made a couple custom magic items, like the dagger mentioned earlier, but I don't think he's really been keeping good track of who has magic items or how useful the items are in actuality to our builds. Did the whole skit on this, but seriously, the module is not going to shoot you in the head. If there's a small thing like this that you can fix, just change it! There are so many magical item websites out there. It's so easy to just... Ah! Loot's important. Do your best to make it work. Hi, Crispy. Huge fan. Thank you, by the way. I've been watching your content with my partner since the early days, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Super thank you, by the way. I have been playing D&D since late 2017 and have been DMing since 2018. I have been DMing at least 1 game a week since then, even through the pandemic, and at the moment run 4 games a week. Dude, how do you do that? Okay, maybe if I handled my crippling addiction to building Lego and playing Destiny, I'd have more time, but... Those aren't a problem, okay? It's not an addiction if I like it! Wait. I have plenty of mini/small horror incidents, but nothing as bad as what happened earlier this year, as it made me question my entire DMing career. A little background of the group. The group started just after the pandemic, and we had a few additions and losses at first, but hit a stride with 5 core players. Nearing the end of the first campaign we ran, I invited a 6th player. She was a friend I made when I started playing at the friendly local game store. Let's call her Sarah. I brought her in thinking she would fit well, and she did at first, but over time, regardless of her character, there were several consistent problems that I didn't address. Lack of note-taking and recollection of most of the story, taking every opportunity to do something random, like running through water naked, buying random trinkets while trying to prep for a mission, literally destroying towns and encampment. Wait, okay, hold on. Alright, one of those, getting nude in the lake. The other one, making poor financial decisions. The third one, murder of the people en masse. One of these things is not like the other. She also jumped into players' story moments just to add a joke or be a part, not taking the story seriously and tearing some of my moments from me. And even late into the second game, tried to force the other female player's character to kiss hers for practice. I had one player throughout this entire time who kept me aware and tried to let me know everything, that person being my girlfriend. However, I let the previous friendship override those critiques and allowed her to stay without much warning. Eventually, we made it to round with the Frost Maiden. Due to personal responsibilities, Sarah has to step away for the first part of the campaign. With her out, the campaign started very strong and had a mostly serious tone, like I intended, and the players wanted. Eventually, though, she wanted to return, and I let her, but gave her a warning that our tone had shifted to be serious. She said she understood and came back. Over the next few months, Sarah did okay, but the same problems began popping up again, and my girlfriend let me know how uncomfortable she was getting. It was getting to a point where my girlfriend was considering quitting, as she felt like she couldn't do anything deep or roleplay with any other players without her jumping in and turning into some random, quirky, jokey thing. I convinced her to stay on multiple occasions and did my best to mitigate the changes Sarah was bringing, but it unfortunately came to a head. We were in the final act of Rhyme, and the group was running through Ythrin. Our group had collected most of the info they needed to proceed to the final boss, but got word the cult was chasing them in the city. During the session where everything went down, we were down 2 players, so the group was doing smaller missions and searching the area. At the long rest, my girlfriend's character decided to sneak out of her hiding place to try to spy on the cult. To give her due here, she was playing a reborn gunslinger, who believed the cult had information on her past, including her missing brother's fate. She successfully made it to them, saw them, and realized they had converted a character to their cult, who used to be a player character. She managed to get back unseen and inform the party of what she did and what she saw. And this is where all hell broke loose. One character expressed he was upset that she left, but understood it was for personal reasons and agreed the info was important and gave them an edge. Sarah, though, couldn't take it and blew up on my girlfriend. She started to exclaim she put them all in danger, at risk, and didn't care about them. She was willing to give up the mission for her gain. My girlfriend was not having it. Throughout the campaign, she built her gunslinger to be a protector of the party, did everything she could to roleplay and try to support others' stories, and the moment she tried to do something for herself, she got chastised.
Of course. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for saving my entire family from a horrific dragon, single-handedly, by yourself. You have done feats that not even our greatest champions could comprehend. Of course, sir. I wish you and your family safe fortune. Hey, we'll step on that. Looks like a copper piece. Must be my lucky day. Consider it a token. What are you doing? Monster! You're taking that money for yourself? Dude, it's a copper piece I found on the ground. I just saved your entire family. You're gonna besmirch me for freaking picking up a copper piece for myself? It's like a little itty bitty thing. Especially compared to what I just did for you. You are a selfish creature. Gods, apprehend this beast!
Stop! You violated the law.
Get out of here. Screw this! Stop it! He's got those sirens! This is a medieval world!
An argument ensued in character, but those at the table could feel like it was going beyond. The straw that broke the camel's back for my girlfriend was when Sarah exclaimed that she was upset she didn't ask her to come with her. At that, my girlfriend was done. Her character stopped the conversation. The characters began to move on from the area, with everyone a bit on edge and feeling awkward, except of course, Sarah. A few moments later, the familiar of the cult leader was seen dropping them a letter. My girlfriend tried to catch it, but Sarah did her level best to destroy it, then take the letter for herself. The argument started up again, and Sarah escalated it by just yelling very loudly, more than is acceptable, and casting hold person on my girlfriend. At this point, I stepped in, as one of the player characters was a missing player, and I just put an end to the argument. The characters went on after, and my girlfriend was very upset by the encounter, but didn't want to talk after the game. As everyone is cleaning up, I try to break the tension, tell everyone all of that was, of course, in character, and not personal, right? The other players agreed and said she should do what her character wants, and in the end, it didn't cause any harm. Exactly. Seriously, this whole argument is over something that's so dumb, by the way. I can imagine the girlfriend just being completely caught off guard. It's not like she brought an army to their front door. Like, she just did a standard scouting mission. Like, come on, dude. Sarah did agree with all of this, but said one thing that ticked me and my girlfriend off to our max. We can all agree that what she did was objectively wrong. A player shouldn't go on their own without telling everyone. Except my girlfriend told our rogue player in character, and he knew about her outing the whole time. It was done at the table. After this, my girlfriend fought as she wanted her out, and I wanted to give her one more chance. If confronted by the problem, I hoped she would apologize and change. We did one more session, and my girlfriend was super uncomfortable and barely played at all at that one. Every time Sarah tried to roleplay with her or interact, my girlfriend ignored her or just said she didn't want to talk. By the end of the session, there was even more tension. Sarah texted my girlfriend and said she knew something was wrong and wanted it fixed so they could still be best friends, and that she loved her and loved playing with her. To my girlfriend and me, this was a bit crazy, as my girlfriend never saw her as a best friend, and the relationship wasn't anything more than like casual at the table. After this, my girlfriend expressed her issues, namely the unnecessary yelling and the fact her character is allowed to act zany and random and do her own thing. And when she did something for her story, she got called out and mentioned the objectively wrong comment too, in a game where everyone has free will, and it's all about having fun. Sarah did her best at apologizing, but it was laden with saying she has mental health issues, had trouble reading people, had her struggles being taken seriously, saying that she didn't see anything she did as problematic, which somehow she forgot a forced kiss too, and that she was a theater person and put a lot of emotion in her roleplay, regardless if she meant it. Apparently both this person and their partner ended up finishing the game till the end, because the end was already pretty close. But, I don't know, man. I wouldn't play with Sarah ever again after that. This is a small, dumb thing, yes, but that's my point. It's a small, dumb thing that Sarah is getting extremely upset over. It's Sarah who initiated the situation with this person's girlfriend, and I don't think that that kind of thing is appropriate, especially since it's combined with past behavior that only compounds to make Sarah look way worse. I'm worried some of the worst horror stories trick people into thinking that that's how bad it needs to get for you to stop playing with someone, but it's the complete opposite. This is a game you're playing for fun. I'm not saying you should kick someone at the drop of a hat, but you shouldn't have an extreme tolerance for BS in your D&D game. You should have minimal BS in your D&D games. You should have fun! No matter how mundane it looks like from the outside, Sarah is the exact kind of person who stops you from having fun. Thankfully, I haven't had many RPG horror stories involving creeps or bad players, but I do have a pretty good one that happened from poor decision making and some unlucky dice rolls. I played D&D almost every week with my grad school friends while we were all still in school. We would often just run one-shots and have people take turns DMing since we were busy with school, and it worked out really well for our group. One week, my friend announced that they would be doing a level 20 one-shot, with the only goal being to defeat a Tarrasque, which, I mean, I'm gonna be real, man. Level 20, the Tarrasque is less Godzilla and more like Gamera. The lame Gamera. Oh god, I'm gonna piss off all the Gamera fans now, aren't I? Damn it! For this Tarrasque fight, there would be 5 players, and none of us had ever played a level 20 character before, so we were all pretty excited for a good old-fashioned brawl. The session starts, we're all thrown into the combat and we're having a blast. I was playing a storm sorcerer and flying around blasting the Tarrasque with lightning. Our fighter was pelting the monster with a barrage of arrows, and our Sun Soul monk was running on top of the Tarrasque, landing some good blows. Eventually we got less lucky. The Tarrasque started doing Tarrasque things, which led to the monk and I getting swallowed. We both take some hits on the outside. I had quite a few of my high-level spell slots left, and the stomach acid was quickly depleting our hit points. We couldn't move in the stomach to get close to each other for a teleportation spell, but I could see her character thanks to his sun shield feature. So in a last-ditch effort, I came up with a plan. I used Polymorph to change the monk into a phase spider who would phase into the ethereal plane that turn, and then back to the material plane outside of the Tarrasque on the next turn.
Damn, that's smart.
I know this isn't actually possible because the phase spider isn't a oh, right. I forgot about that too. Probably for the best. Polymorph's already really difficult for DMs to deal with, hence the heavy Baldur's Gate 3 nerf, but level 20 gives you access to abilities that some would consider unnatural. Technically not possible because the phase spider isn't a beast, but we missed that at the time, so I'll get a break. After the monk was safely in the ethereal plane, I was going to use Dimension Door to get myself out of the Tarrasque. Easy peasy. However, I severely underestimated the Tarrasque's stomach acid. After the monk, now a phase spider, poofed into the ethereal plane, it was the Tarrasque's turn, which meant I took acid damage from the stomach, and the DM rolled close to max damage, which knocked my sorcerer out, ending my polymorph on the monk. So now he's just a dude in the ethereal plane with no way to get back. Oh my god, your monk got sound waved! Okay, come on, someone gets that reference. There's at least one Transformers fan. Come on, guys. Eventually, we were successful in defeating the Tarrasque, with only the fire surviving the session, but as far as she knew, myself and the monk were swallowed by the monster and just never escaped. Thankfully, there were no hard feelings, since it was just a fun one-shot, and none of us were really attached to our characters, but we still joke about the monk being trapped somewhere wandering the ethereal plane. I'm still friends with the monk player and the fighter. DM and I played an online campaign with each other after moving away from school. We all look back fondly on those long nights playing D&D, even if I did accidentally sentence a character to live out the rest of their days trapped in a different plane of existence. Oops. I did make fun of the Tarrasque earlier, and I was probably right, considering that both these deaths were caused by the writer, not the actual monster, which I think is great. I think that this is the exact kind of horror story that we're all going to experience, and that we're all going to want at some point. Look, I would love it if everything I did worked out, but if that's what we wanted, why would we play a game with low numbers on the dice? We roll die in TTRPGs because the chance for failure is interesting, and when that failure comes because of poor decision making, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find that satisfying. It's all part of the game. You guys had fun with this encounter. Yeah, things didn't turn out your way, but this is going to be a story that these people remember for a long time, and you know what? That's what we're here for. This isn't nearly as bad as some of the other stories I've heard, but it still sticks in my mind and keeps me cautious about playing to this day. I'm still relatively new to playing D&D, so I'm sorry if my terms or descriptions are wrong or confusing, but this happened about 3 years ago, and like I said, it still sticks in my mind. Many of the people in my friend group were interested in D&D, but never had a chance to play. So our friend decided to set up a campaign where they would DM, and we could all have our first official D&D game together over Discord. For reference, we're all girls in our late 20s, and at the time, there were 7 of us, including the DM. The problem player in the story is someone I am no longer friends with, and there are a lot of reasons why. Let's focus on the D&D campaign. So, like I said, I'm pretty new to D&D, and I was super excited to play. I had created a dragonborn rogue urchin character who was abandoned on the streets by his family because he was a runt and smaller than the other dragonborns, and he had to steal to survive. I meant for him to be a serious character with a bleak outlook on life, but when actually role-playing him, he ended up being a complete goofy dork and walking contradiction, and I loved it.
It's been 7 years since my family were slain by the Witch Queen. 7 years since she took everything from me. I have dedicated my life to training, honing my skills so I can hunt her down and kill her and her whole family. Seems only fair to me. My quest is a lonely one. I have done so without friends, without love, without... Hey, dude, what were you saying? Nothing. Okay, could have sworn that... Anyway, the party that you've been hanging out with for like 7 months now and bonding with and all that. You know, they're doing Drunken Truth or Dare right now. I was wondering if you want to... Oh, it sounds like fun!
During session 0, we all rolled for stats. I got really high in dexterity and wisdom, but absolutely terrible rolls in charisma and intelligence. Some examples of this playing out in game: my character could steal whole cooked chicken off our vendor's food cart without getting caught, but had no idea why his new ranger friend, who could talk to animals and was vegan, didn't want a bite of the stuff. Later, he would be able to read ancient text from a wall no one else could decipher, but would then forget how stairs work and fell down a flight of spiral stairs. I still really like the character, but there was one player in the party that literally ruined the entire campaign. The problem player was playing a human paladin. God, do we need a playlist for bad paladins? Quit ruining the coolest class. I haven't played a single paladin, and I still think they're cool as hell. But y'all are starting to make me regret that. Yeah, she was 100% acting like she was the main character, both in-game and out-game. Problems with this now ex-friend started right off the bat, because she was annoyed that she was the only human in the party. Like I said, I was a dragonborn, but also our bard was a gnome, ranger was an orc, warrior was a dwarf elf, aka a dwelf. Trademarked, don't steal. You get the idea. Everyone else in the party was something besides a human. Honestly, I thought we had an awesome ragtag team of colorful misfits, but I guess she was pissed we weren't a group of pretty girls. She gave me crap outside the game because I was playing a male character, and she wanted an all-girls group. I just brushed this off, which is what a lot of us did with my friend's behavior. Looking back, she was clearly toxic, and we were all just using the excuse that we'd been friends for so long to justify her behavior. During our game sessions, she would clearly not understand the difference between D&D and a video game, even though our DM had explained it over and over many times to her. One time, we were talking with an NPC in the NPC's home who was giving us info on a quest, and Paladin tried to open her chest and go through her house as if it were a Zelda game, and she was like finding rupees or something.
Sir, I cannot exaggerate enough how much I appreciate you agreeing to help us. And hey, what are you doing? I mean, it's lootable, and I didn't see a steal tag, so... Steal tag? What? You are literally stealing! Doesn't matter what tag is on the item. Besides, there is no tag at all in the first... Look, the point is, you can't just steal from me. I just told you how desperate we are. Well, I mean, like, what if you just, like, looked over there? I'm not gonna look over... Hey, stop that! You're doing it again! Look, man, honestly, I think we're both better off if you just pretend like you didn't see anything, like NPCs usually do. What the hell's an NPC? I will not ignore this blatant act of theft. I will not pretend like I just saw nothing just because you think you're entitled to some kind of... Wait! See? You saw nothing.
The DM tried to tell her to stop, and the paladin just didn't, insisting there would be something good here. The DM said okay, and the NPC got pissed this stranger was rifling through her home while trying to have a serious talk, so combat started. The rest of us were annoyed and just left the house, and chose not to attack the helpful NPC because the paladin was trying to rob her right in front of her. But the paladin didn't see it that way. Paladin rolled terribly and had to flee her fight, and was pissed we didn't fight with her. We all told her it was her own fault, and she was pissed for the rest of the session. In other sessions, she would force herself to be the main focus of the dialogue, interrupting other players, trying to force interaction with the NPCs the DM had placed for other players, and overall being awful to any NPC that wanted to help us. The worst part is, she was always boasting about how she was playing a lawful good character, acting like she was holier than thou, knight of goodness. But then she honestly roleplayed like she was chaotic evil. She was useless in combat, and if she even lost just one hit point of health, she would throw a tantrum that no one was healing her. I literally put a joke about Genji like right here for the healing joke, but no one plays Overwatch anymore, so I don't think it would land. One time, our bard, who was doing amazing and getting us all inspiration, was hurt bad and lost over half their health after a combat encounter. Our ranger, who could conjure good berries to heal, gave some to the bard, but Paladin was pissed she didn't get any, even though she wasn't even hurt. Paladin also used a huge sword and could have done a ton of damage if she ever tried to fight, but during combat she'd hang back and do pretty much nothing because she didn't want to die, even though she was nowhere near death. And our dungeon master had basically set up our game on baby mode because we were all new to D&D, so I have no idea what she was worried about. We had all talked privately to each other, and our dungeon master, talked about her behavior, but no matter what we said to her, she just ignored us all and did whatever she wanted. And we get pissed if we didn't go along with her ideas. She pretty much treated our characters like her ungrateful sidekicks, and even tried to get my character banned from the party because I was role-playing a male character, and she wanted me to make a new girl character. The party and Dungeon Master did not allow this, and I was able to keep on playing my goofy Robin Hood little Dragonborn guy. The final straw that killed the campaign was when we found vials of this frozen sickness. I haven't mentioned it yet, but our main quest was to find a cure for the spreading illness called the frozen... Oh, that's the name of it? Okay, pause. DM, we've got so many cool virus names in fantasy. We've got the Rat Plague or the Siva Outbreak. But the best you could come up with was the Frozen Sick? Like, come on, man. An old man on the side of the road going, "Beware the frozen sick." It doesn't land. It doesn't land, girl. Come on. Better names. You need them. We were exploring a dungeon/lab where the sickness was being manufactured. We found a case of vials of the horrible, contagious sickness. The rest of the party agreed to leave it alone and keep looking for the cure. Because, you know, carrying delicate vials of a deadly disease in a dungeon full of monsters was clearly a bad idea. Well, Paladin didn't think so and took all the vials. When asked why she would want them, she said she wanted to sell them for gold. Again, this is supposedly a lawful good paladin on a quest to find a cure for a sickness plaguing the land. She wants to sell the vials of that disease for easy cash. Why? And to whom? The only people who'd want to buy something like that would be really, really bad, and not someone her character should even consider doing business with. We could not convince her to put them back, so our party continued in the dungeon in order to find the darn cure. All the while, we keep our distance between our characters and the paladin, who's carrying the easily breakable glass bottles of a deadly sickness. We reach a corridor leading to another section of the dungeon, which has frost zombie-like creatures in it. Before anyone can say or do anything, Paladin takes one of the vials of the deadly disease and throws it into the corridor like it's a grenade. The party quickly move out of the dungeon. The paladin just stands there in the range of the now broken vial of illness and infected herself with the sickness and is confused why the monsters aren't dead.
Hey, what do you think that guy's doing? I'm going to avenge all my fallen friends by killing the zombies with their own virus. Prepare to die, undead scum. I think she's gonna attack us. Oh. Okay. Do you think we should fight back, or...? Nah, just let it happen. This is my main character moment! Is this the virus that made us? Oh, that's embarrassing. I feel bad. We should give her advice. Hey! Try using literally anything. What? What are you saying? I didn't quite understand. Do you think she got the message? Yeah, I think she got the message. Cool. Let's go kill her now.
The DM, trying not to lose it, tells her that the sickness takes days until showing signs of infection, and even weeks before eventually slowly killing the infected, and that throwing a vial of it at someone isn't going to instantly kill them, especially a creature that's technically already dead. So to recap, we are on a timed mission to get a cure for a deadly sickness, which our paladin has just infested herself with, unleash that sickness in the main path of the dungeon we've yet to explore, where the cure is, which is also full of frost zombies. So we can't access the other half of the dungeon. The Dungeon Master is trying to figure out a way to fix this, and basically what the DM came up with on the spot was that we could choose to do 3 long rests until the sickness disperses, and then we could enter that section of the dungeon, or try to find an alternate route from a different section we have already explored and possibly miss. Pretty sure the DM just had to add a secret entrance because of what the paladin did, and frankly, good move on the DM. That's exactly what I would have done. Is it simple? Yes, but simple works. On top of that, we now needed to find the cure faster because our characters were infested. At this point, We were pissed. Me and the bard were yelling at the paladin over Discord about why she did that, without even talking to the rest of us first. She just kept playing ignorance, as if the vial being equal to a grenade was the logical solution, and it was the dungeon master's fault for not making things clear. To be clear, when the paladin did this, the DM tried to stop her, as did we all, because we were confused why she wanted to do this. But paladin just didn't care or listen. After more yelling from everyone, we decided to end the session here, and we never went back. We all claimed to have scheduling issues, but honestly none of us just wanted to play with Paladin again, and we started a different campaign, a different server. There were a lot of issues with Paladin as a friend. She was always trying to be the center of attention. She would bring up people's insecurities as if pointing them out helped. She played victim when she didn't get her way, and even tried to get us to join a multi-level marketing scheme with her. No way! She was nearly 30, but behaved like a catty 13-year-old. Yeah, being in an MLM will do that to you. Financial desperation. It's a real drag. Eventually, I faced the fact that the person who was once my friend had grown into someone different. I was a toxic person I didn't want to be friends with. There were a lot of things that happened, but eventually I stopped being friends with her and blocked her on everything. I'd say it sucks, but honestly, I felt so much better when I cut her out of my life. My mental health improved greatly. I'm still friends with everyone else in that party, and the Dungeon Master still runs campaigns for us from time to time. I'm going to try my hand at DMing so our DM can be a player for once. Hopefully I'll be able to do at least half as good as her, because she's an awesome DM. As far as I know, no one else from that group has ever played D&D with Paladin again, and most of us have cut contact completely, not just me. But that whole experience has made us more open with communication while playing D&D, both with each other and with other groups. Sorry if this wasn't as dramatic or interesting as other people's stories. Hey, don't sell yourself short. I think stories like this are entirely necessary. Yeah, crazy psycho incels might be more fun, but the truth is you're going to encounter those less. You're going to encounter this way more. Is it the most tame? No. But it is something that I think we've all seen. That friend who's extremely self-centered, who doesn't seem to care about a single other person in their life, who is so rude it almost transcends your mind. Like, you almost don't believe that somebody could act like this, especially someone that you once respected. Come on, I mean, how many of us have been there? I'm guaranteed everyone has had at least one person like that in their life. And sometimes it's going to overlap with your tabletop games. Look, it's okay to have a vision, but at the end of the day, this is a group game. Your vision doesn't override theirs. These ladies made a ragtag group of misfits, and this girl could not handle that, and that's not good. I get being disappointed in the group that you're in, but the best thing you can do is walk away. Don't try to bend that group to meld with what you want, because no one's going to have fun playing a vision that only works for one person. Hey, that's a wrap. If you guys enjoyed, then you might enjoy our D&D Actual Play series, The 10th Tomb. The first episode and the entire series is linked in the cards. New episodes on Wednesdays. But before you go, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe to Crispy Tavern so you don't miss any of our content. Oh, and finally, if you want to leave your own stories or thoughts, go down in the comments down below. If you can't think of a comment, leave the comment. She wants to be a dragonborn to let me know you made it to the end of the video. Hey, by the way, if you have your own horror stories, you can send them directly to us. There's an email down in the description down below. Send your stories our way for a chance to be featured in one of these videos. But hey, even if you don't have any stories, in essence, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you all next time. Farewell.